Hello, my name is Alicia Shapiro with AInews.com, and welcome to another episode of our Driving Tomorrow Conversations with Industry Leaders, where we explore the latest developments and newest innovations in the world of artificial intelligence. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with Kaled Alhanafi, co founder and CEO of Basata, an AI powered platform that's redefining how we think about healthcare administration. With a background in software engineering, operations, and business strategy, Khaled has spent his career solving complex challenges in highly regulated industries. Now, with Basata, he's on a mission to eliminate paperwork backlogs in healthcare by using AI to streamline workflows and free up providers to focus on patient care. Powered by intelligent AI agents, Basata tackles one of the healthcare's biggest inefficiencies, the administrative burden. From smart document handling to real time analytics, the platform helps clinics operate with more speed, clarity, and compassion. In today's interview, we'll explore how AI is transforming the healthcare administration and how Basata is helping create a system where every moment can be dedicated to patient care. So I appreciate you for joining us today, Khaled.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad to have you here. I'm looking forward to our conversation. Let's start with your vision for Basata. What inspired you to build it, and what problem are you solving with the healthcare providers?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I lost my mom at the age of 42 to a heart attack,
Mm, wow.
and also have several family members that have dealt with their own health crises and issues. And
Mhm.
I've seen friends go through our health system. And what we always say is we have the best doctors in the world here in the United States. So think of it as a Ferrari of medicine. But then the roads are not so well put together. So the operating
Right.
system, if you will, and the system tends to fail people, providers and patients. And so that's what the inspiration behind Basata really was, is these personal stories. Every time we're trying to book an appointment with a doctor, we get the story of your records aren't here, or this doctor has this types of preferences, and so that doesn't match with yours, or your insurance is
Wow.
not accepted here. So all that complexity is what drove us all to go and jump in, look at this new technology in AI to bring that to the healthcare industry.
I love that.
And you think about today in the world we live in today. I came from Lyft, the rideshare company, and then Cruise, the self-driving car company. You think of a world in which you can order a burrito on your app,
Yeah.
you can order a ride with no driver to
Yeah.
come to pick you up, but you can't get to a doctor's appointment without the hoops and loops of faxes and phone calls and holding on the phone.
Yeah.
And it's just a terrible experience that it doesn't match up to the level of care that we have, the actual medicine, because
Yeah.
that's great. And we
Mhm.
just need a system for it. Yeah.
I like how you said the roads leading up to it. That
Yeah.
needs fixed.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe that's my transportation background kicking in a little bit.
Yeah. And you've worked in highly regulated industries like rideshare and autonomous vehicles. How has that experience shaped the way you're approaching innovation in healthcare?
Yeah, when I compare transportation and what it was, if you look at before Uber, Lyft, before Waymo, Cruise, and other companies, right? It was another very backward type industry. There are a lot of regulations, a lot of red tape. And if you were to go back in time and say, oh, are we going to have incredible startups with great impact there? The answer probably would have been, it's really hard to do. I get inspired by industries like that, where things have been done in a certain way for so long, it's really hard to have an impact. You get a lot of naysayers. It's very difficult. People want to make change, but there's systems that are keeping the status quo alive. So that is the biggest similarity for me, is just seeing like how working with regulators, working with existing players, getting patients on board. In our case with rideshare, it was drivers, and
Mm.
inspiring them to join a movement. Here it's, hey, who's accepting this status quo?
Yeah.
Nobody. Nobody
No
wants.
one.
Right? Yet the system doesn't change. And so I think that challenge in rideshare and self-driving cars has really set me up for this other challenge in healthcare. Both highly regulated industries, like you said,
Mhm.
both haven't kept up with technology, where we've seen like banking keep up with technology. You
Yeah.
have a lot of things on your app, like food, education. Transportation and healthcare have really not. And so that's another similarity it just fires me up. It gets me excited, it gets me going.
Oh,
So
that's
it's kind of
great.
a challenge, right?
Love that. Let's explore a little how Basata works. What kind of tasks are your AI agents handling, and what kind of impact does that have on providers?
Absolutely. So Basata today is focused on all the pre-visit work that happens in medical practices to
Mhm.
get the patients to the doctor. What does that look like? Before you are able to go to an appointment, your record is probably you have to send your record from a primary care physician to a specialty care physician, right? That record today is going through fax. So 75% of all communication in healthcare between practice and practice or hospital to practice is still done by fax, and that is
Wow.
2025. So that's
Wow.
one radical discovery we've made when we look at it and say, why is it so hard to schedule? And you look at that's where the problem starts. You've got all this paperwork, all these faxes that come in that you really need human beings to sit down, read them, discern them, extract the information, and plug them into the EHR or create patient records to then go ahead and call and do the intake and do all this kind of work. So, what are the tasks we do? We take all the faxed documents and automate that and make it so that all of that work is done with AI.
Oh,
So, referrals would be a great example. When your referral comes in from provider to provider, right? Rather than having a human being read that referral and maybe wait a week until they get to that referral, our AI agent is getting that referral right away as soon as it comes in, extracts all the information, creates the patient chart in the EMR, and now it's ready for the clinic to call on that patient or reach out to that patient. So that's one workflow that we're doing. And of course, we're continuing to build. So today we're even building voice agents that call on the patient and continues the entire workflow.
oh, wow. That's really cool. Yeah, that would be so much more efficient. I can't believe things are still done by fax. That's insane.
Crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And we were just talking about the administrative burden. It's a longstanding challenge in healthcare. What makes AI uniquely suited to address this issue in ways that other tools haven't? And what does that mean for providers on the front lines?
So in the case of faxes, for the longest time, some of the best technology around extracting information has been OCR, right? Being able to extract data through OCR. Today, with LLMs, large language models, and that's what part of what AI really is all about today, you're able to extract things like even handwriting, right? All the data in a PDF file that comes into a practice, because you have to think these faxes are coming in as PDFs typically. So scans of scans, really images. You can't even sometimes do a control find on them. And
Wow.
so you have to read maybe a 20-page document to get to the name of the patient, the right information, and all of that so that you can actually create the patient chart. AI allows you to extract all that data, no matter what type of data is in that document, so that you can efficiently put it into the EMR and get going with the next step. Same thing on the voice side of things, right? Phone calls. Today, you can use ChatGPT or any tool to essentially have a voice conversation. Well, we leverage some of this technology to place phone calls to patients, receive phone calls from patients, and get some of that work done on behalf of the clinic.
That is so cool. That is great to know that this is becoming more modernized.
Yes, I want to use it. Like my mother-in-law was at an appointment today and a cardiology appointment, and just getting the process of getting there was just so backwards. And I'm like, we need everybody to be on these technologies to essentially get to live in a world that really reflects what 2025 ought to be in the United
Mhm.
States healthcare.
It's too bad you can't go like door to door to all these doctors' offices and be like, use this.
Yes, I know. We're trying. We're going to the big practices,
Yeah.
and the market has been very receptive to the idea.
Yeah.
And everyone we talk to, the biggest thing after, oh wow, this looks great, is oh, of course we need this. Of course we know that this is where the future is. And so folks are receptive, although they get a bad rep in healthcare for not being innovative. What
Yeah.
we've found is the folks that we're talking to are really excited to try AI and what it can do for them. We're going door to door, and we are going to get to everybody.
Yes, that's exciting. And it leads me to my next question. Have there been any success stories or surprising insights that you can share from early users?
So many great success stories. We've got one of our customers, Tri-City Cardiology, one of the biggest cardiology groups in the Phoenix area, actually,
Mm.
over 40 cardiologists or 40 providers or so. We started with them with the idea that we wanted to automate their referral process. and we plugged our AI agent in. It used to be a week or so where they couldn't even get to their referrals and they would
Wow.
have a backlog of a week or so. And now this is done right away. You a click of a button, the referral is brought in, it's extracted, it's plugged into the EMR, they're able to call the patient. And so going from a week or two to the matter of minutes to process a referral is huge for them,
Yeah.
not only for Tri-City Cardiology, but also for the patients of Tri-City Cardiology, right? And so
Hmm.
recently, it's funny, so many of my family go to cardiology, but essentially my dad also recently was told by his primary care, I'm going to give a referral for you to go to see a cardiologist, but I'm going to refer you to three different groups. And my dad was confused. Why three? And he said, most of them don't even get back to you until a week or two later, and you need
Wow.
to be seen. And so that was true. Out of the three, only one responded within a week, and then the other two actually still haven't responded. So you think of what we've been able to do with Tri-City Cardiology, it's huge. Their
Yeah.
patients are being responded to, they can get scheduled quickly, and they can get in and get taken care of. So that would be a great example of a success story that we've had recently.
That's so important. Because one of the things I do hate is you wait forever to get the referral, and then you have to wait forever to get your appointment at the
Right.
doctor. And then by the time you're seen, your problem has been fixed. It's like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Or you actually sometimes never even hear back. I won't mention the name, but we've worked with another group and they told us sometimes, this is one of the groups that in the past that we've talked to, is that sometimes we can't even get to all the referrals. So we don't even call on them unless the patient really wants it. They'll call us. Because in healthcare, there's so much demand, right?
yeah.
There's little supply, so much demand. And they're just sitting there on all these faxes that are patients essentially waiting. And
Wow.
they say, we put the onus on the patient. If the patient really wants the appointment, they will call. It's not really that. That's not a great experience for the patient.
Yeah.
But now with AI, you can absolutely get to every single referral, every single patient, every single document, every single call within minutes, which
That's
is
so
really, really
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. I cannot wait for that to happen.
Yes.
We've been talking about how the healthcare space can be slow to adopt new technology because of all the regulations and doing things the way it's always been done. But how are you thinking about the trust and adoption and integration as you grow, as Basata grows? Will that change?
It's really important to be solving a huge pain point for these practices, right?
Mm.
Or the patient or whatever you're solving for as a company, right? In our case, our target audience or customer today is these large practices, right?
Mhm.
And when the pain point is so big and they feel the pain, one of the CEOs recently called me and said, oh, now I get what Basata does. I have 500 referrals sitting, and no one from my team has processed them because we keep having team members churn. And so when they say that, it's like, even though this industry is slow moving, even though it's highly regulated, even though it takes so much to integrate with existing EMRs, because the pain is so great and you show them a solution that can work, they get so excited by that vision that they want it. And
Good.
yes, it takes some time. It takes weeks to integrate and get everything set up. But the fact that we're solving a big pain point for them is really what gets us going. And then the second part of the question around trust, we've got one of our co-founders is got a PhD in cybersecurity.
Oh,
And for building in healthcare, it is so important to have this respect for HIPAA, of course, that's
yeah.
part of it, but also patient data. You're working with patient data, people's lives, right?
Mhm.
Their health data. Nobody wants that to be out in the ether. And so when you're talking about AI and healthcare, security has got to be a big part of that.
Yeah.
And not just an add-on, but a part of the foundation of what you're building. And so I think because we've got that from day one, that's made it easier to break into some of these groups and win their trust, which we're really appreciative of and very excited about.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's awesome. And looking ahead, what role do you see AI playing in the future of healthcare, maybe beyond administrative tasks?
My goodness, it is going to be in everything.
Yeah.
5 years, 10 years from now, I can't imagine that you can say we can have any healthcare interaction or conversation without leveraging AI.
Yeah.
Doctors and providers across the country are already using medical scribes, AI for scribing. A lot of groups are now starting to use Basata and this technology around pre-visit workflows, fax is being automated, calls being automated, which is also really exciting. A lot of practices are using them to just collect their billing, right? So RCM, a lot of RCM and AI tools. So it really is not the future. We're in it today.
Yeah,
We're living that vision today, which is really exciting. But as we go into the future, it is going to be just everywhere, everywhere. Everything is being touched by AI. So you had asked about AI and how it's going to help in healthcare. And so I see it doing everything. There's so much that's happening with AI today already. So we talked about medical scribe AI. We
mhm,
talked about, for example, what we're doing in pre-visit workflows, so faxes and calls. But I see healthcare as the one industry that's going to benefit the most from AI. So when we're thinking about where does one invest in companies that are doing
mhm,
AI, I think healthcare is it. And the reason for that is so much of the work in healthcare is manual. So there's
mhm.
no other industry that nearly comes close to how manual things are
Yeah,
other than healthcare. So that's also why I'm so excited and bullish about healthcare and AI in healthcare in general. Everything is manual, phone calls, scheduling, collections on billing. So everything we do in healthcare is going to be effectively touched by AI one way or another.
that's for sure. Before we wrap up, I always love to ask, when you do step away from your work, what are some activities or hobbies you're passionate about?
So I am so jealous of people that have hobbies because I've got three kids.
Yeah.
And with between Basata and the three kids, I don't know where people get the time. But for
Yeah.
me, hobbies are being with my kids. We've been trying to fly a kite for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, fun.
I've not been successful yet, but just playing with my kids, that's been like the biggest hobby or what I do in my spare time. Seeing them grow, just the different phases of I've got a 6-year old, 4-year old, and a 10-month old,
Aw.
and they're just such a joy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Thank you so much, Khaled, for sharing your story and the creative ways that Basada is using AI to hopefully ease the burden on healthcare teams. It's been a great conversation about how tech can help providers spend less time on paperwork and more time with their patients. So I'm really glad we had this opportunity today.
Thank you so much. It was great being with you.
Oh, thank you. And for those who would like to learn more about Basada, you can visit their website at basata.ai. Keeping you connected to tomorrow. Today, this is Alicia with AInews.com.